Hello everyone, welcome back to Decking Cards. So today we'll be taking a look at problem 2 of the Asia Pacific Math Olympiad 2026. Now this is a really interesting combinatorics problem with an elegant solution, so I can't wait to share with you on this one. Without further ado, let us take a look at the problem statement. Okay, so unlike other combinatorics problems, this problem statement is really short. Let n greater than or equal to 2 be an integer. Let a1, a2, dot, till a 2 to the n be the 2 to the n subsets of an n element set in some order. Prove that we have this inequality. Okay, let's digest what this inequality is saying with some exploration. Okay, so basically you have an n element set. When you have an n element set, there are 2 to the n ways to form subsets of it, right? From the empty set all the way to the complete set itself. Okay, so let's say I arrange these subsets in some order. So a1, a2, until a2 to the n. Okay, then what I do is, between adjacent AIs, I'll look at the intersection. How many elements are there? I add up this to this, and so on, going around the circle. And I want to show that this is greater than or equal to 2 to the n minus 2. So a1, a2, how many common elements are there? a2, a3, how many common elements are there? Add up, all the way loop around, a2 to the n, a1, how many common elements are there? Okay, so this inequality you want to show greater than or equal to 2 to the n minus 2. Okay, let's think about how we might do this. So one thing you might think about is, okay, if I look at the full set 1 to n, okay, I'm just going to pretend the n element set is from 1 to n. Okay, so this set, okay, surely it must contribute something to this sum, right? Because, okay, I can avoid the intersection of common elements by putting the empty set next to it. So, okay, this full set, I put next to the empty set, but I can't use the empty set again. So on the other side of the circle, I must put some other subset, and this other subset will intersect this full set here. So, okay, looks like I'm able to contribute something to the sum. But this is just one contribution point, and that's like quite pathetic to get the inequality, right? Okay, but then you realize that there are a lot of sets that are quite big. So if I take 1, 2, until n minus 1, and sure, okay, let's say I already use the empty set here, then I have to use like the set n, right? Then, okay, maybe you say, fine, the empty set actually is on this side. It happens to form a string. Okay, but then how about if I take the set that I drop the element 1 instead? Then I cannot keep using the empty set again, right? So it's quite hard to figure out, like, okay, maybe I can, if I can put something nice on one side, like let's say the complement, the other side, I cannot use the complement again. So maybe one idea that you might want to explore is, okay, maybe every 2 adjacent edges will contribute something to the sum. That's one idea. But the other idea is that, you know, I don't have to use the complement over here, right? So I have a set. Then notice currently I'm trying to avoid intersection by using the complement. But for like small sets, right, like in this case, if n equals 7 and the subset is 1, 5, 7, I don't have to take the complement. There are like a lot of other sets that don't even intersect this at all. So it looks like my argument is going to be very weak if I just look at this idea number 1, because there's a lot of ways I can avoid intersections. However, if I look at the complement of these two, then it looks like, okay, this set and this set, if they are adjacent, there's now a lot of intersection. See, element 3 and 6, for example, intersect over here as well. So if you try and avoid intersections in the actual AIs by taking very small sets, the complement will be very big and there'll be a lot of intersections. So the other idea that you might want to do is, okay, maybe we look at both this, the normal intersection that we have, as well as the intersection of the complement sets. Look at both at the same time and see if we can use that to create my inequality. Because if I have very large set and very large set, it will contribute here. But if I have very small and very small set, the complements will end up intersecting a lot. So it looks like a very clever idea that we can use. So these two ideas over here, of course, this is just exploration, nothing rigorous, but they actually form the foundation of what we'll be doing. So let's take a look at the solution officially. So the lemma that we'll be proving first, inspired by what we just saw in idea number 2, is the following. So the sum of the normal intersection that I have, so this whole left-hand side, is also given by the sum, where we instead look at the complement sets. Now I have a bit of abuse of notation here. When k equals 2 to the n, k plus 1, I take it as a1. Okay, so basically this sum is the same as this sum if I replace all the sets by the complement instead. This is quite a clever argument that we're going to do here. So to prove this lemma, let's consider element number 1. Just take element number 1 first. For each k, we'll ask, is 1 inside AK? So maybe you'll get like yes, 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 no, no, yes, no, no, for example. Exactly half of them must be yes, and exactly half of them must be no. Okay. Notice that if both AK and AK plus 1 give yes, yes, so that means there's adjacent yes, yes, then element 1 will contribute plus 1 score to that edge. Because element 1 will be in both AK and AK plus 1, so in the intersection, it will actually contribute a count of 1 to this intersection. Okay, so yes, yes, the edge will be plus 1 from element 1. And at the same time, if AK and AK plus 1 give no, no, then element 1 will contribute plus 1 score to the edge when sets are complemented. So instead, if we have like no, no, then if we take the complement of everything, it will have been 1 is inside and 1 is inside. So in the intersection of the complement, the element 1 would be inside the intersection, right? And it will contribute a score of 1 to this edge. Okay, so this tells us that it suffices to show that the number of yes, yes is equals to the number of no, no. Okay, if the number of yes, yes, in this case, you see yes, 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 there's 2 of them. Then no, no, there's also 2 of them. There's a no, no here and a no, no. So if we can show this is true, then element 1 will contribute equal score to this side as well as this side. And then element 1 is just an arbitrary element. The same argument applies for element 2, 3, 4 until n. So let's prove this equality here. Now, the number of yes on the circle is equal to the number of yes, yes plus number of yes, no. And this is very easy to see. Each time you have a yes, it must be followed by either a yes or no. So it will either contribute to here or contribute to here. So therefore, number of yes equals number of yes, yes plus number of yes, no. Yeah, this is a bit mind-bending, but once you see this, it's like, wow, okay, something interesting to observe. And similarly, the number of no's is equal to number of no, no plus number of yes, no. Because each time you have a no, what is the element before, what is the answer before that? It must be either a yes or a no. So when you have a no, what is before that is either a no or a yes. So we have this equality as well. Now the number of yes and the number of no are equal. They are exactly half of this, right? So these two right hand sides are equal. Then the number of yes, no cancel out. So therefore number of yes, yes equals number of no, no. QED. Yeah, so this is very cute proof for the lemma. Okay, so now that we have the lemma, this tells us that the thing we want to prove here, the left-hand side, is the same as half of, I take the normal sum, and the sum when all the sets are complemented. Okay, so now I have this. I want to show that it's greater than or equal to 2 to the n minus 2. And why do I bother with doing this? Because I want to look at the normal sets as well as the complemented sets at the same time. And it turns out this is a very powerful thing to do, because for each k, this sum is equal to 0 if and only if ak and ak plus 1 are complements. Boom. Okay, so why is this true? Let's fix any element j like before. Then we ask, is j in ak? is j in ak plus 1. So you have 4 possible answers, right? Yes, 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 no, 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 yes, and no, no. If it's yes, yes, j will contribute score of 1 to this. So this sum will not be 0. No, no, j will contribute to this. The sum will not be 0. Therefore, for this to be 0, it must be yes, no, or no, yes. Which means the element j is in exactly one of them only, right? And this holds for every j. So if every element is either yes, no, or no, no, yes, that's basically the definition that the two are complements. Yeah, and you can check conversely as well. Okay, so this is very powerful because now let's look at two adjacent edges. So for example, this edge and this edge. Okay, if ak and ak plus 1 are complements, then because we cannot reuse the same subset 2 times, then ak minus 1 must not be a complement of ak. Therefore, by this check that we did here, this edge will have a score of at least 1, right? And obviously, if these two were not complements to begin with, then this edge will have a score of at least 1. So if we look at two adjacent edges, they must have a total score of at least 1. So this left-hand side sum over here, therefore, is greater than or equal to half, right? And then how many pairs of adjacent edges can I form that is not overlapping? Well, there's 2 to the n edges, and I just pair them off nicely. This and this, then this and this, this and this, this and this, for example. And each of these pairs of adjacent edges, they contribute a score of at least 1 to the sum, right? So you do have this inequality over here, and this evaluates to 2 to the n minus 2. And that's it. That's the proof of problem 2. Very interesting ideas that are being explored in this proof. So I hope you enjoyed this problem, and stay tuned to the channel for more Math Olympiad videos. I'll be posting maybe APMO problem 5. Do stay tuned, and see you soon.